Alright, hey guys, I hope everyone is doing well. This is Rudy. Hey, tonight's video is going to be on 9/11 Experts Speak Out. Richard Gage held a architects and engineers meeting in Dallas on Greenville Avenue at Trinity Church. They played the film 9/11 Experts Speak Out, and I'll put the link in the information bar, and it's called the final edition. And if you haven't seen the latest film they've put out, I highly suggest you watch it, and it's very powerful. And I did watch the film. I got a chance to ask Richard Gage some questions. I want to speak to you also about Dr. Judy Wood and directed free energy, my thoughts on that. But before I get started, I want to make it a habit of reading this right here. It's called The Answer Book by Samuel Gipp, and it's in regards to the King James Bible being the inerrant, infallible Word of God in the English language. Question number 7 from page 32. If there is a perfect Bible in English, doesn't there also have to be a perfect Bible in French and German and Japanese, etc.? The answer Samuel Gipp gives, the short answer, is no. God always has given His Word to one people in one language to do one job: convert the world. The supposition that there must be a perfect translation in every language is erroneous and inconsistent with God's proven practice. And then he goes on to give a further detailed explanation, giving examples of how the Old Testament was delivered as well as the New Testament. And I suggest you read this book, The Answer Book. It answers all of the common criticisms that people have against King James onlyist. So let's move on to 9/11 truth. Okay, so as I said before, I got a chance to go to the Architects and Engineers gathering at Greenville Avenue at Trinity Church. I did upload a previous video, so you guys should have known about it. I hope that anyone who wanted to come did come. There was quite a, it was quite a few in the gathering. I don't know, I didn't count them all, but there was church was fairly full. And I admire Richard Gage a whole lot. I think that he is trying to get the truth out. I think that he is a man of courage, a man of persistence. And before I went to go to this, I did watch a full 2.5 hours of Where Did the Towers Go by Dr. Judy Wood, and I've got her book on order. And two of the things that she really brings forth, she's basically claiming, and I don't subscribe to her belief on this, although I have some good close friends that do. So yet again, I'm going to say what my opinion is, and I don't let the fact that I've got good close friends who I have a great deal of love and respect for that may disagree with me. That's okay, right? We can have a disagreement, and we can still love one another, right? As long as we understand that we all just want the truth. But when I watched Dr. Judy Wood for 2.5 hours, she's putting forth the idea that there's directed free energy, there's the Hutchison effect, that the building started to lather, and that some kind of energy was directed from a hurricane and came down from the sky under a HAARP program and lathered the building up, and it was a weapon like we've never seen before, and it caused the steel to turn into dust, and it caused cars to melt several blocks away. And let me put up, before I go much further, let me show you one of the clips that she uses to make the case that steel turns into dust. So I'll play that right now.
Good Lord. There are no words. You can see large pieces of the building falling. You can see the smoke rising. You can see a portion of the side of the building now just being covered on the right side as I look at it, covered in smoke. The side of the building now just being covered on the right side as I look at it, covered in smoke. The side of the building now just being covered on the right side as I look at it, covered in smoke.
Okay, you got a chance to see that. Now, before I talk about that, let me also show you some of the examples of the cars. Just, maybe I'll play that as I'm talking. But regarding the dust, right? She claims the steel just dustified, and she makes up a new word called dustification. first of all, that one video doesn't really prove anything, and I would say it's a low-res video, and it could be that the column just fell down, or it fell away from the camera and it left dust, because the column would have been covered in dust from the falling debris. So if the column just falls down, it would leave a dust imprint in the sky as the column falls. So that's not conclusive evidence, and she really plays big on that. When it comes to the melted cars that were several blocks away, and I've heard Jesse Ventura buy into this. You know, Jesse Ventura, I think, does, at least in the video clip I saw of Jesse, and I got no respect for Jesse. I mean, I know that he calls himself a patriot. He said he was going to move out of America when they didn't hear his case on them groping him with the TSA. He's also an atheist, and he thinks anybody who don't believe in evolution is an idiot, so I think he's an idiot for believing in evolution. But anyway, Jesse subscribes to this Where Did the Towers Go by Dr. Judy Wood, and he claims that he believes the steel was turned into dust, whereas I subscribe to the notion that Richard Gage puts forth that there was explosives in the building, specifically nanothermite. And I will say that these cars that they always talk about that are several blocks away that supposedly got melted, I think they were in the debris field of the World Trade Centers when they fell, and they were hit by nanothermite, and that I believe that the tow trucks pulled them out of there, pulled them several blocks away, and then the people started to take pictures of them. But they were just trying to get debris out of they were picking up cars. The tow trucks went in, picked up the cars, towed them several blocks away, and people started taking pictures of them. But they didn't just melt right there, indicating that they got hit by some mysterious energy force, directed energy force. So just to make my position clear, I do not believe in the whole directed energy theory that Dr. Judy Woods has put forth. I've listened to 2.5 hours of her video. I believe she was trying to make a case with the cars, the molten cars, and this steel turning into dust. But I'm going with there was explosives in the building, and that World Trade Center 7 and the two towers were brought down by controlled demolition. And I think Richard Gage and the latest film that he puts forth makes a very powerful case. Now the next clip that you'll see is me having an opportunity to express my appreciation for Richard Gage, and also to ask him a question, what he thinks about it. And I appreciate his response, and I thought he did a great job at responding. So anyway, here's that clip. God bless every one of you. At the end of the clip, I'll put the website where you can go watch the film and help spread the word. And I'm all about the truth. I don't care what you think of me. I just want to say the truth. God bless every one of you, and take care.
Some things that can be done, and yes, it is getting easier to talk to people, but fewer people are actually doing quite enough. We need a lot more people to do a lot more so that we can cut through this year. It is, after all, 2012. So let's make it a year of enlightenment.
Right. Thank you. I just would like to second this gentleman in thanking you and for being persistent and having the courage to go expose the truth. And you have certainly been an encouragement for those that would like to see the truth. My question is two-part question. One is, have you seen the work by Dr. Judy Wood and her book, Where Did the Towers Go? And specifically her theories about directed free energy, and specifically as it relates to the lack of rubble pile, the apparent lack of rubble pile that you would expect from a 100+ story building collapsing on itself, and also the cars that they say were several blocks away that were found melted, which I don't know if it's absolutely true, but there are reports of that. Do you have a reaction to that, or do you have any thoughts?
Thank you. There's some strange phenomena that occurs relative to cars outside the World Trade Center. Some of them are on fire, engines are on fire. It's really weird. I don't know how to explain that. I do know, relative to the rubble, that we saw tremendous lateral forces hurling these 4-ton perimeter wall units 60 miles an hour laterally outside, landing 600 feet away. So I have very little faith in the calculations of those who say that the steel was turned to dust. It is everywhere outside the perimeter of these buildings. There's only a 2-story pile of stuff at the bottom, and that's what Judy Wood is referring to. Where did the steel go? There should have been a lot more. Well, it's everywhere, including inside the crater created in World Trade Center 6, which appears to be created by explosions as well. Now, Judy Wood theorizes that directed energy weapons were the source of the destruction at the World Trade Center. There's very little, if any, evidence to support this. First of all, so I'm not going to go to the American people and talk about directed energy weapons when there's no evidence to support it, and no experimentation to support it. When we have direct evidence of explosions, which she denies, page 124 of her book, molten metal, which she denies, page 125 of her book, and nanothermite, which she denies, page 126 of her book. So when somebody not only, I appreciate people trying to explain some of the phenomena which we may not have all the answers for. I don't appreciate the spreading of disinformation and denial of direct evidence, which is our best evidence.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that response. My last question, if I could just quickly say, I remember sharing information with my father that, that I think there was some problems with the 9/11, the story that we were told, and he told me that the only crap he had ever heard that from was Rosie O'Donnell, and I shared with him a 9/11 Architects and Engineers DVD, and he said that he wants a new investigation now. So I want to show you, demonstrate how powerful that DVD is. My last question is in regards to Popular Mechanics and the hit piece they did, I believe, in trying to debunk a lot of the things that architects and engineers put forth. Do you believe that this DVD responds appropriately to the Popular Mechanics hit piece that was done?
Yeah, it certainly does. Popular Mechanics goes after the straw man arguments, the arguments that we don't even make. They do not address the free fall destruction of World Trade Center 7 and try to explain how 40,000 tons of structural steel all of a sudden gave way in the form of 80 columns on each of 8 floors at once. They do not try, they can't. They just sort of dance around it. They do not explain the creation of molten iron found by the first responders, structural engineers, iron workers, which requires temperatures exceeding 2,800 degrees. You saw what can create that. They don't address the possibilities for the creation of billions of iron microspheres found in all the World Trade Center dust in volumes up to 6% of the dust is composed of these iron microspheres. 10 tons estimated throughout all of the World Trade Center dust. So I hope that helps.
Thank you.
Yes, I'll go by the internet name Detective Deacon. I have a statement and then a quick question.